Hello, welcome to What Makes This Bike Great, and today we're talking about the magnificent Yamaha FZR400RR with its owner James Jackson. How you doing, mate? Nice
Hello,
to see you. Thanks
nice
for bringing
to
the
meet
bike
you.
down to see us. Now,
Thank you.
this is a bike that, you know, we're kind of similar age, quite young obviously, but you know, this is a bike of our youth that we used to, you know, pin up bike from back in the day. The 400s back in the day were kind of the special ones, weren't they, really, because they were the most kind of evolved sports bikes in a way. They're more evolved than 600s because they had alley frames, and the 600s of the day had steel frames and they weren't that racy, you know, better handling than thousands. And these things used to race in the All Japan F3 Championship, which is why bikes like these were so heavily developed and, you know, such little jewels, because like super bikes today, they made these 400 production bikes as racy as they could so they'd be ready to race on track. So, but before we sort of talk a little bit more about the spec and everything of the bike, how did you come to get hold of it?
Okay, so it was a local bike and I'd heard about it. It was coming up for sale.
Yeah.
And the woman that owned it was a bit sceptical about using it again, and she fell out of love of biking and things. So she said, "Oh, do you want to come over and have a look?" Went over and had a look, and it was in a bit of a poor state at the time, and the value of it at the time was a little bit high for what its current condition was.
Yeah. So this is a 92, isn't it?
This is a 92 model.
92 with 35,000 on
miles on it.
Yeah.
So again, it's been used a little bit, but it's been kept in a reasonable condition, which is a good starting point for when you're wanting to buy something of this era. You can't really let it dip down too much, because the cost of restoring it back to its poster condition, you'll end up with a more valuable bike than its actual true value is. So you've got to go in at a reasonable level condition to bring it back again. So luckily, all this needed was a good shampoo and a polish, bit of a service, and this is what you end up with. So it's a 92 model.
So can you get parts for these quite easily?
Yeah. There's various companies in the UK. You've got Wemoto, you've got Yambits, obviously the likes of well-known auction sites. You know, there's various ones that we all know of, where you can get second-hand parts, and if you're lucky you can land on new parts. Most of the time I'm scouring Japan. There's an auction site in Japan where you can again look for bits, buy them and get them shipped over.
Wow.
It's just the shipping value of it now. Is it cost effective to do it? But sometimes you have to bite the bullet and get them that way. And then have to pay the import duty and the rest of it. So yeah, there's ways and means of restoring a 90s classic bike if you need to.
And then, so you remember these from back in the day? You've been riding, how long have you been riding?
I've been riding since 90, 91, 92 era, when I first chucked my leg over a mini moto.
Right.
Just how it all started.
Really? And then what was your biking journey from there?
And then we went from that to scooter racing in 98.
Okay.
Became the champion in 98.
What scooters?
This was after Leon Haslam.
Right,
Piaggio Zip SP Cup.
What size are they?
They were a 50 engine with a Molossi 80 race kit on them, essentially. Which were raced at national level against the British Superbikes. It was a support class for the British Superbikes.
Wow.
Did that for a year, became the champion, and then we got sponsored by I got picked up by No Limits. Went and raced the CB500 Cup for a couple of years, and then had a bit of an accident while I was practicing, broke my elbow. That packed up my racing career, as it were. Loved it at the time, and then got into buying these kind of bikes, restoring them, and then generally just using them on the road. So this is where we are.
I was going to ask, where do you ride this?
Locally, we go up to Matlock, we go all around the Midlands, you know, probably northernest points round Manchester-ish.
Right.
Southernest point we go down to is, I don't know, where do we go? Leicester-ish way.
Right.
So yeah, there's a circumference around the Midlands where we go, where the
roads.
country roads are like this, you're up and down, which is what this is suited for, you know.
You take it on the track?
I tend not to if I can help it.
Yeah.
But it would be, you know, you get your best out of it on track, but it's just that, do I or don't I? God forbid if I wrote it off. You know, that would be the end of it, really.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
I mean, they're quite rare, aren't they? I mean, I was looking through the classifieds before I came here today, and there isn't even one on sale, is there?
No, you're dead right. I mean, try and find a genuine panel or a tank.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to, it could take up to a year to find one.
Wow.
You know.
So this is a UK spec bike,
This is
isn't
a
it?
UK model. As far as I'm aware, it's all not been dicked about with. I haven't owned it for that long, so I'm still really getting to know it.
Yeah.
The first time I ride in it, I was currently surprised how lovely it is, you know.
So what were your first impressions when you rode it?
It was really low. I mean, anybody small, it's really made for them. The good thing with these little bikes is that you're so low and parallel to the floor.
Yeah.
God forbid if anything did happen, you haven't got to panic.
Yeah.
And, you know, your feet are not that far away from the ground. So anything like that, you know, when sometimes on a bigger bike and you're small, you struggle a bit, with newer bikes especially. So if you're a bit vertically challenged, something like this, you're ideal, you know. It's absolutely perfect for you.
I mean, and the good thing about 400s in a day, as well as them being absolute sweet handling bikes, just revvy, involving, is that they were relatively affordable, weren't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think the average price of most of the 400s at the time was £4.5, £5
Yeah.
roughly, depending what you wanted. The CBRs, XR, VFR, I think was slightly higher because of the technology that was in them.
Yeah.
But yeah, roughly £5 would get you something like this back in the day, and roughly now. So they dipped a little bit over the last few years, and then they've slowly come back to where they were again.
Yeah.
So £5 now would get you something in this condition.
Really? Wow.
You know.
And I mean Kawasaki have come back now, haven't they, with a ZX4RR? It'd be nice if Yamaha did a similar thing, but I think that ship sailed, really. It's all about parallel twins now and sort of cheaper bikes, isn't it? Like little jewels like these don't exist anymore. And
that's right.
I mean, this, I think, I mean, there's going to be people out there who know FZRs much deeper than I do, but I think they came out in 86 just as an FZR400.
Yes.
Evolved to the FZR400R and then the RR later on.
1WG model, I think it was, started at.
Yeah.
And then they did that up until the 90 era. Yeah. And then this came on. You know, they've devised a little bit of different frame and different swinging arm and geometry of it. And then this is the middle version. Then you went to an SP. Yeah. So they did an SP version where it had a close ratio gearbox, fully adjustable front suspension, rebound and damping and tricky bits. A fully adjustable rear shock, I think, single seat unit. Yeah. I think slightly different calipers as well, and brakes and things like that. Go on, I've not had one of those, but yeah.
I mean, the frame and the swing arm in this looks like it could be off 1,000. I mean, and people did slip in bigger engines, didn't they? I mean, back in the day, I remember I used to race Supersport 600, and there were FZR 400s with 600 engines.
That's
and I even think that the Thunder Ace engine might even fit in there. Somebody told me.
Yeah,
so
I have seen ones advertised with 600 engines in.
Which is mad. And I know these amazing Japanese 400s. Not many of them were brought into the UK officially, were they? There would have been the NC30 and the ZXR400.
Yes, yeah, they were a UK bike. The CBR was a UK bike. Yeah.
Was the CBR 400? That was Japanese only, wasn't it? It was the NC30 came in.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the NC30 was a UK bike, yeah.
But these were the kind of bikes you'd only normally see in PB, you know, the pictures of them, and because I think they evolved because the Japanese Formula 3 Championship at the time, the All Japan F3 Championship, was huge out there, and manufacturers are falling over themselves to create these amazing 400s like they do with superbikes now, where there's a limited amount of things you can do for the track, so they made them as race ready as they could to begin with.
Yeah. Is that what kicked off all the grey import
That's right,
business of the time?
Yeah,
you know, you had
because
back motorcycles,
that's right,
importing them all, didn't
yeah.
you? And you could walk down and see them all
Yeah,
laid
exactly,
down.
yeah.
You'd just be mesmerised by them all.
Because like you're saying with the SP as well, you know, fully adjustable suspension and alley frames and all the rest of it, 600s didn't have that technology then. If you think of the jelly mold CBR or the original FZR or GPZ 600s, these were the absolute bomb, weren't they, back in the day?
Yeah.
And I think the Japanese license laws as well meant that 400s were the most popular, so that's why they're... But yeah, it's a shame that we didn't get more of them in the country.
I know.
And they were
I think what's of that era, I think the colour schemes and the way that they painted them, there was that much thought that went into them.
Yeah.
As opposed to newer bikes now.
Yeah.
You're a bit limited.
Exactly.
To what you get, but the colour schemes of the 90s era and going into like the mid 2000s were just unbelievable.
Just brilliant times,
you know,
weren't
the
they?
striking paint jobs, which is predominantly what sells them, really.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, yeah.
As a personal thing.
Yeah.
You know.
And they did really well in racing, didn't they? They won TTs, there was a Supersport 400 championship at national level. I mean, they're still club race to this day.
Oh God, they just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
If you look after them, you know, if you do your regular maintenance and generally look after it, then...
Are they inherently reliable, or are there things to look out for?
Yeah, there's, you know, you do your obvious thing, you check your plugs, check your air filters, which is all easy stuff as a beginner mechanic. You know, it's all in decent toolkits, which you can buy various places now, outlets. You can get a decent toolkit for 100 quid.
Yeah.
And it's all self-explanatory. You don't need to really do a mechanics course online to learn how to take a tank off. It's all 10 mil, 12 mil little things, you know, and then the tank's off, pull the pipe off, and then that's how you learn about them, you know. But yeah, it's self-explanatory. Just take the plugs out once a year, give them a clean or change them.
Yeah.
Drop the oil out, learn how to take the fairings off, seat unit, have a look, make sure everything's okay, and then that's basically it. Most important things really now is fuel. You know, there's this thing with E10 and E5. I found if you keep it all fresh with E5, then you can't really go wrong.
Right.
You know, but just keep it generally, don't leave it sitting too long.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, all my bikes, I keep them running roughly once a week.
Right.
So they just get a rotation of spark and fuel.
Yeah,
you know, so when you do want to use it, you know, it's going to be not sitting too long and going off.
Yeah.
E10 you might have other issues with, but I generally put E5 in them all.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to eliminate that aspect of it.
What do you like? What do you like most about this? What's your favourite bits?
I think the colour scheme is striking on it. I do love this red that they did.
Yeah.
And the way that it rides, I was really... I didn't know what to think when I first rode it. I thought, do I really want an FZR? And then now I've come to ride it, I can't stop riding it. You know, it's one of them. It's been really surprising.
Gets under your skin.
Yeah. I've only had a TZR in the past, a 3MA, and riding this back to back and then thinking, this is a TZR in disguise, It really is a TZR. The clocks are the same, the layout of the dash is the same.
What's the 3MA? The sort of the
reverse cylinder, two-stroke.
Wow.
Yeah, and the seat is exactly the same. The way that you sit in it is exactly the same.
Really?
The noise is roughly the same. The way it reacts on the revs is roughly the same. So yeah, there's a lot of components as well that you can get on a 3MA that go onto this.
Yeah. Indicators
and pegs and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's similar to that, maybe by extension, it might be kind of born from the TZ250, the Grand Prix bike.
Could well be.
Yeah, yeah.
You learn something every day.
Well, you never know. It's very analogue as well, isn't it? It's no electronics, it's got carbs, obviously, it's not fuel injection.
No.
16 valve head, not 20, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 16,
so.
yes.
Whereas the other Genesises were 20, weren't they?
Yeah.
But
now we have got a reserve button
Yeah.
I'm yet to find out if it works
Okay.
or what it does. It could be an analog turbo. We don't know.
Well, that'd be good. So have you got
But, yeah.
anything you want to add about the bike before you very kindly let me have a go?
But no, it's there. It's as it was. It's you know, it's as honest as it can be.
Yeah. Is it a keeper?
I think I'll keep it a little while. Yeah, I don't really want to see it go just yet. I don't think,
No.
but we'll see. You know, everything's for sale at a price.
That's
but,
right, yeah.
You know, if anybody fancies owning
Yeah.
owning an FZR, then get in touch
Yeah,
by
yeah.
all means. But
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome. Well, I've never ridden one of these, so I'm really interested to see what it's like to
Yeah,
ride.
by
So
all means, enjoy it.
thanks very
yeah.
much. Thanks very much for coming down.
No problem
All
at
right.
all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, no
You
problem.
never know. So, FZR400RR. Another realisation of a dream. Well, like I said before, this bike was just built to race. Built to race in the All Japan TT F3 Championship. So this is kind of like literally a mini superbike. And back when they were released in the early 90s, this would have been more techie than the superbikes of the day, apart from the homologation specials. But it's really surprised me. The riding position is pure early 90s FZR. You know, it feels a lot like a 600 or an X-Up or even an OW01, but it's a lot more nimble, unsurprisingly, because it hardly weighs anything. 66 bhp was the claim power at the time. It doesn't actually feel small. You know, it's got quite relatively high pegs, relatively long stretch to the bars, but relatively roomy, and the engine's relatively flexible as well. It's got an X-up valve in this generation, so you've got a little bit more low down flexibility. I can't believe how smooth it is. Really smooth. You know, when you think of a 400, you just think of a really peaky, uncompromising rev monster, but this is absolutely buttery. The suspension is plush, brakes work. For a bike of this age, that's never normally a given. It's just, gearbox is nice and crisp. Wowsy wowsy. Right. Oh, I love to rev. It just feels like a little mini racing bike. Amazing. I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world. It's definitely it barks worse than it bites. But what a little jewel. It's amazing. No real vibrations from the engine. Lovely throttle response from the carbs have been really well set up. Obviously this has been, you know, even though it's done a fair few miles, it's a well looked after bike. You'd never think it's done 35,000 miles. You know, I could ride this quite a distance. This is actually less risky than a modern supersport bike like a CBR or a ZX6 or whatever. Obviously you've got the Kawasaki ZX4RR now, which despite being new and newfangled doesn't actually feel much different from this at all. God, I think if you could get your hands on a well sorted 400 like this, it'd be amazing. You don't need to go silly speeds to get your enjoyment. Yeah, I really like this. This really surprised me actually. This has got a lot of racing history. You know, the TT, it always sees these racing around in the early 90s with all the superstars who used to ride all the classes of bike. and Super Sport 400 national level, and then all the time I've been in kind of Benzie and Thundersport paddocks. You've always seen them. They're very tunable by all accounts. I wouldn't have thought you need to do much to the chassis, which is probably why they can handle having a bigger engine, 1000 or a 600. Yeah, I definitely say what makes this bike great, well, it's just an icon. It's a poster wall bike from back in the 90s. It's just synonymous with racing. It's got that kind of kudos because it was kind of only a Japanese spec bike to begin with before it was officially imported into the UK. It's just got that kind of specialness about it, and it rides beautifully. I've got to say a massive thanks to James for letting me ride his pride and joy. I'm going to reluctantly hand it back, although having said that, not the best day in the world to be enjoying a 400. This thing lives in the corners. I'd love to give it a proper ride, but I think today's just all about having a little taste and just enjoying the glory of the FZR400. So I'm just going to go around this little corner, maybe give it one more little squirt. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hopefully there's more of these kind of videos to come. We'll see you again on the next one. Woohoo!